Hello and welcome to Celebrating Simple Life. I'm Kimberly and I've been planning parties and incredible events for the past 15 years. I'm passionate about connecting people, making gatherings purposeful, and making the most out of every moment. Join me as we learn together how to find joy, celebrate the simple things in life, use events to grow your business, entertain with purpose, and have a whole lot of fun along the way. Cheers to Celebrating Simple Life. I could not be more excited to let you know that Shine Summit tickets are now available. Shine Summit takes place October 1st, 2020. So you have lots of time to reflect, think about how this event might be exactly what you have been looking for. This is going to be a day that will change your life. If you are an entrepreneur or a leader in your industry, maybe you're dreaming of making changes in your life, you will not want to miss this opportunity. When you take time to invest in you, your business, it affects all the areas in your life. It benefits your family, your community, and all the relationships around you. I am literally so passionate about connecting people in ways that help them grow, and this Shine Summit is the perfect opportunity for that. I have experienced firsthand how investing in myself and in my business by attending an event such as this can absolutely change the trajectory of your life, because it has happened to me. Here's why this is powerful. Life is hard. Business is hard. And some days it honestly doesn't take much to feel like everything is going in a chaotic direction. And what is the point of putting in all of the work and effort that running a business and being a leader within your organization takes? But I'm here to tell you that Shine Summit will not only inspire you and give you all of the feels, you guys, but this Shine Summit is going to give you hands-on, tangible tools that will help directly take your life and your business to the next level. Being surrounded by like-minded individuals and those who have been in their entrepreneurial and business journeys longer than maybe you have is absolutely essential. Hearing from them, hearing their stories, hearing their mistakes, and how they're willing to share their experiences, vulnerability, and really try to help you avoid those same mistakes. We have experts from all over that are going to be coming to share their expertise and to grow together. You will be blown away by our headliner, Sarah Heron. Isn't that the girl from The Bachelor? Why, yes, it sure is. Sarah is a force to be reckoned with, and she has taken her experience of being on a public television show and putting her story out there in the world and taking her disability that she was born with and turning it into something extraordinary. She has an incredible story, an incredible business sense, and she is such an inspiring woman. And you get to hang out with her and be inspired. This summit has been created to surround you with a community of incredible women who will challenge you, help you grow and thrive, and we want to see you there. Imagine the energy, joy, and engaging lessons that you get to be a part of and incorporate those directly into your life and business in ways that are specifically tailored to you. We will be talking about leadership, marketing, social media, overcoming adversity, reinventing your business in new and unique ways. This is not the type of conference where you are just going to hear speeches and leave with a few notes. If you are struggling in finding your niche, to sell more, to organize your finances, or maybe you're even afraid to admit the things that you wish you understood in business, then this is the place for you. This is a summit where you will be challenged to be interactive, to dig deeper in order to achieve the goals that you are dreaming up. Shine Summit is being hosted in the most beautiful event space where everyone attending is there for the same purpose, to shine. These tickets are going to sell out fast, and as a listener of Celebrating Simple Life, the podcast, you are the first to know. Check out shinecollective.ca for all the juicy details. Before I introduce today's guest, I wanted to share a new podcast review that came from Diamond and Willow on Instagram stories. She writes, I've met Marliese from Bobe Beauty at local events, but have yet to share in one of her services she offers. I'm hoping that this is going to happen for me sooner than later. Listening to the Bobe Beauty conversation on Celebrating Simple Life, the podcast, made me want a facial even more. Thank you so much, Diamond and Willow, for sharing these reviews. I'm so happy that the episode with Bobe Beauty resonated with you. Please email Kimberly at celebratingsimplelife.com to get your free gift. Today on Celebrating Simple Life, the podcast, I'm chatting with Karey Kapell, owner of Next Level Business Coaching. Karey is a business coach and mentor for women with a focus on impact and income creation. She works with service-based female entrepreneurs who are looking to create incredible impact for their clients. She wants women to know that they have potential, and she has the ability to see it first. She helps streamline ideas and bring clarity to businesses quickly so that business owners can stop spinning their wheels and create the impact that they desire. She's like the business partner you never knew you always wanted. Within her one-on-one coaching and group coaching sessions, she holds business owners accountable so that they can step into their full potential in business. I know firsthand how much of a struggle it can be as a service-based entrepreneur to know how to market and charge for my services. Karey is one of our incredible speakers for the Shine Summit taking place in Saskatoon on October 1st this year. And this coming week, Wednesday, January 22nd, Karey will be speaking at the What Businesses Want Mastermind sessions in Regina, and I already have my ticket. Check out the link in the show notes if you are interested in hearing her speak live in Regina and grab your ticket. I promise you this, within moments of meeting Karey for the first time, she gave me such an amazing fresh perspective on my business, and I just know you are going to get so much from our conversation today. So tune in. Hello, Karey. How are you?
I'm good.
I am so very excited to have you here today. We get to sit in this iconic hotel in downtown Saskatoon and just here. Kick up our feet and chit chat. So I'm sure that most people listening have probably heard of you. You are out there, you're on social media, you're a woman about town. But if someone hasn't heard of you, give yourself a little introduction and tell us about Karey.
Okay, cool. Well, my name is Karey, and I am a business coach for women entrepreneurs. And so I help women find the clarity around what they really want to offer and the confidence to go out and market and sell it. So that's kind of my jam.
That's a good, like, concise, perfect description of what you do.
Thank you.
That's like not easy to come by.
No, it's my elevator pitch. I work very hard on it.
Yes, well, it sounds very effortless, so way to go.
Awesome.
So in that then, I love how you use the word clarity, because I think that is such a, ironically, challenging piece for women in business, and not just women, but just business in general, and marketing yourself. I think as women, it feels so scary sometimes, and you see other people doing it and you're like, oh wow, they really have it all going on and together. I wish that I could do that. And then when you do it for yourself, you're like, oh man,
it's way harder than it looks.
And you don't want to sound like overconfident, and it's different for men than it is for women. Totally. It's different. And I like how the words that you used in there, I think are really going to resonate with people listening, because I know I've struggled with that. For and sure. I think most people that I've spoken to in business have as well. So,
totally.
So in that then, how did you come to a place of getting to this concise clarity for yourself to know that being an entrepreneur, I'll let you maybe just share a little bit about your journey and how you started as an entrepreneur, because I know you haven't always been doing coaching.
Yes. Okay, cool. So I got out of university like everyone and went to the comfy corporate job.
Yes.
And when I was 24, I was like, this can't be the rest of my life. It was so stifling and limiting for me. So no experience in entrepreneurship, didn't even know really what it meant. And I was walking down the street one day, and this cute little clothing store had just opened up in Regina, and I went in and I bought a pair of my first expensive jeans. And that interaction, I said, how did you know to start this? And she's like, I just decided to go for it. And I was like, that's so cool. And she's like, I'm actually selling it. Long story short, 6 months later, I owned that business.
Wow.
No experience in retail, never done a business on my own. So from that, I, for 7 years, ran a retail clothing store. And as I loved the process of building a business, like marketing and sales. And you learn it in university, but until you actually apply it, it's totally different. So that's basically, there was a purple couch in this store, and I would connect with women. And one of the things that I realized was I had this ability to really pull out people's unique value. What was different about them that set them apart from everyone else? And when I sold that business, and I would get a lot of people to call, that would call me and say, can you help me grow my business? And you did so well at your store. Can you help me with marketing and sales? Because that was kind of my jam. And as I started to work with women on that, I realized that it wasn't a strategy issue. It was an issue in clarity around their unique offer, like their unique value, and how they could use that to set themselves apart amongst all their competition. And then the confidence to really own that and go forward in the market with that kind of unique proposition, if you will. So
wow, so it all started on a purple couch.
It started on a purple couch.
I love that.
I know, I love it too.
I love that. So I mean, you explained it perfectly, and I mean, I've gotten to know you over the last year, and that is exactly what you do. I know we've had this conversation before, where I'm like, how, even whether it's not face to face or over the phone, how do you just know what I'm thinking and can just like pull random tidbits out that I'm like, that is exactly what I needed to hear today. That it is a gift of yours, and I think that a lot of times as an entrepreneur, it's such a isolating thing, especially people that are working, like, I mean, not all entrepreneurs are one-man shows, but for a lot of women, you're on your own, you're in your business, you don't have anybody giving you any type of feedback, positive or negative, and you're telling yourself things in your head all day that may be true, maybe not true, and you kind of can just run yourself in circles super easy, and you like need the services of somebody like yourself to actually find that clarity, which in the end saves you so much time and money and effort and stress and tears and all of it, because you're trying to do everything, right?
Yeah. Somebody on the outside looking in can see things so much more clearly. And it's really, for me, it's a very intuitive process as well. I'm always picking up on cues and when people sound really excited versus when they sound really tired in a conversation, and that leads you to what really is their passion and purpose. So
I
always
love
paying
that.
attention to that.
I love that. You're like a detective.
It kind of, yeah.
So obviously the road of owning a clothing store and now moving into business coaching and everything in between hasn't all been roses.
Of course not.
And I think that's often what I find the most interesting about stories is like, it's easy to see where somebody has come because you see only the highlight reel of the great things, right? But to see the nitty gritties underneath, I think often can be like the most inspirational part of it, especially for people who are in the trenches of like not finding that clarity yet and not knowing what to do. Like, oh, it looks so great, like everyone has it together on their Instagram and whatever, but to actually like be like, you know what, I have gone through years of things feeling like crap. They were super crap and it isn't great, and maybe I wasn't posting those crappy things, but they were happening for time. So what would you say over the years, whether it be in your current coaching or from other things you've experienced, as something that you've tried and it failed or didn't go the way you thought it was going to go, and like how did you move forward from that?
Yeah. Oh, where do I start?
Feel free to pick more than one, but just start with one.
It's literally true when they say you fail your way to success.
Yes, agreed.
In retail, one of the hardest things was once I gained traction and my sales just took off so well, the visibility that came along with success was something that I felt like a little bit of pressure around, like people watch you more and to like pay attention. So owning a retail store, the first few years, success seemed to come fairly easily, and there was a lot of excitement and buzz. It's like the beginning and the end. That's what we kind of always see. But it's like you don't see the middle ground. And I think the hardest thing was I tried something and it worked so well, and you just keep doing it over and over again. And what the biggest lesson I've ever learned is that like it will only work so well for so long. You always have to be adapting and changing and doing business differently. I think it's actually the hardest part about business isn't starting it. It's actually once you become successful, maintaining success, because you have to the people and the strategies that get you from here to here, we can't see, but
Right.
like from one step
Yeah.
to step 2 aren't necessarily the people and the strategies that are going to get you from step 2 to step 3.
Right.
And so it's this constant process of like letting that go. And so for 2 years, I held on to the same marketing strategy and things just plummeted. And I went from $500,000 in sales to 250. Like my sales cut in half in 1 year. And it was very stressful. Cash flow, lost all the cash flow. And so just really building from the ground up again was really deflating. The confidence piece definitely went to the wayside after that. But I learned so much from it, and so I'm grateful now, but in the middle of that, absolutely.
Not
and you
grateful.
Not grateful. And you didn't want people to know because they looked at you like you're successful, and you didn't want to like, I love how vulnerability and authenticity have come so much farther now, because back then I would have definitely like, my husband knew.
Right.
And
totally.
that's a lot of pressure on your shoulders to hold in by yourself.
100%.
So that was probably the biggest failure was for that particular piece, was just really having to change strategies and not wanting to, because I'm like, but it worked before.
Like, what's wrong?
What's wrong?
Yeah.
But it's like a kid. It's like you find a strategy that works and you and your husband are celebrating and it's awesome, and then like a couple weeks later it doesn't work anymore. And you're like,
new stage.
You
now
gotta,
what?
new stage. Like, you always have to keep changing and evolving. So
which I mean, I think being adaptable is sort of like an entrepreneurship 101, right?
Totally.
Like, you're not coming into it being like, okay, I have an idea and we're just going to do this for the rest of our life. I think what you said before too about how starting the business isn't the hard part, that's so true. Like, I think that's where a lot of confusion I think sometimes lies for people, because anybody can start a business tomorrow.
And you have that passion and excitement, and you're not jaded at the beginning, so you just go all in. And then you start to get the failure, and that plays with the head game.
Yes.
So I totally think it's not starting, it's maintaining and growing from when you've established success already.
I love that. Yeah, so true. And now what you said as well about just vulnerability and like being transparent and those types of things, like now too, it does feel like it's okay to, I mean, obviously you don't need to shout it from the rooftops if you don't need to tell everybody, but to have the people around you to be like, you know what, things are really crap right now actually in business, and I need to just be honest about this, and I'm not feeling like I can be my real self and put a happy face on, and it's okay for it to be that way, because like anything in life, it's this roller coaster ebb and flow of highs
Success
and lows,
failure.
right?
It takes a village.
It does.
And we should really like utilize village for that. So totally, I agree.
So we already talked about some of your wonderful qualities of intuition and ways that you draw information out of people just naturally, and they don't even realize that it's happening, because it has happened to me, and I'm like, you're like a little Houdini. All of a sudden you have this little information out, and I was like,
never thought about that.
Never thought about that. Exactly. So obviously we talked about those things already, but what would you say is something that makes you unique?
So my unique value, I mean, because we already talked about the ability to pull that out in others, I think as well as like, I really help people, my unique ability to help people just find kindness and compassion for self. I think we don't even realize how hard we are on like ourselves, and we say it all the time, don't be hard on yourselves, but to actually embody that is totally different than just saying that. And so I'll catch that a lot with like clients and with myself, like just the high expectations and the pressure we put on ourselves, and it's completely, it's debilitating to some people. So I would say teaching people to be kind and compassionate. It's like, oh, they lost money, or they're struggling with business or life, or they screwed up with their husband or whatever, and I'm like, give yourself a break. You're trying the best you can right now. Now you know better, so now you can do better. Totally. As long as you have awareness, you're fine. And
isn't that the truth, though? That is such a big thing. I think that's like the easiest thing to forget is like, it's always so easy to point that out in somebody else, to be like, oh, you're not aware, but to really self-reflect and to be open to what people around you are, especially people that are like your safe people, like who their intentions are pure and right, and like you kind of have to like take that and be like, okay, I was supposed to hear this. Now what am I going to do about this?
Yeah, and now the implementation.
Yeah.
Like personal development and all the self-help is so amazing, and we have so much awareness now, but it's the actual implementation of it that I think people need support on, because it's not easy, and to catch people in the fact that they are judging themselves. They don't actually realize they are, right? So really working with people on that is something that I think a lot of my clients would say I give them as well. And that really builds into the confidence piece.
100%.
Yeah.
It's a new year, and if you are an entrepreneur like me, you have been trying to plan for success in 2020. Sometimes all of this planning can feel so overwhelming. One thing I know for sure is that investing wisely in you and your business is a recipe for success. I'm all about collaborating with other businesses, and one of the most amazing events you can showcase your business in this year is the What Women Want event in Regina on March 13th and 14th, Moose Jaw on April 26th and 27th, and for the first year in Saskatoon on September 25th and 26th. This urban market meets fashion festival will help you grow your client base and align your brand with the hippest, trendiest, and most exciting businesses across Canada. Year after year, businesses return with larger and larger pop-up spaces because of the influence What Women Want makes to their bottom line. More than 6,000 guests line up each year to be entertained, enjoy local food, sips, and to meet and shop with our partners. It's not just on event weekend though. What Women Want has partnerships that keep on growing. It's not just about the event, it's about connecting and gathering throughout the year to help each other's businesses grow. You can find all of the details online at whatwomenwantevent.com, as well as Instagram and Facebook. And as a valued member of the Celebrating Simple Life community, you get an exclusive code to receive 10% off your booth space for the 2020 shows. Use the code CELEBRATE10. That's an incredible savings to give you the incentive you need to sign up today. That's whatwomenwantevent.com and use the code CELEBRATE10 because today is a great day to celebrate. You've had some ups and downs in your retail store and things are humming along and you decided to close the doors and you have people that are contacting you wanting your expertise, missing the purple couch from your retail store. Where is Karey? And how did you move in the direction after that into your current company, Next Level Business Coaching?
Yeah.
And how did that all come about? And what do you feel so passionate about now that you're in this business?
I think I sold that business and then I was like, I made pretty good money on it. And so I kind of had a year to I don't need to work.
Right.
I can take my time and just figure out what I want to do, which is it was so awesome, but I was miserable.
Right.
I was the retail store just defined me. It defined my circle. It defined my existence in the city that I live in. And so I just went on this journey into personal development, and I did Tony Robbins' Unleash the Power Within weekend conference. Then I ended up just personally wanting to take his coaching training because I thought, well, that could help me figure out my own internal battles and struggles with a lot of confidence. And I realized through that whole journey that I built the business that I built successfully, but I did it by people pleasing, bending over backwards, thinking it was my job to over deliver to every single customer so that they would stay loyal to me. And I realized I didn't have boundaries. I didn't set clear expectations. I bent over backwards, people pleased everyone, and it was exhausting. Totally. And I ended up becoming someone that is not really who I am, and not intentionally or with really that much awareness. Yeah. So I took the personal coaching certification through Tony Robbins just for myself. But then when people started to pull me into their business to help them with marketing and sales, I could see this isn't a strategy issue. You're not doing well because of not being good on Instagram. You're holding yourself back because you're in your own head and you're in your own way. And so I decided to become a business coach, and my hook is definitely I'll help you with marketing sales, which I will, but the real work is I work one-on-one with building their clarity and confidence, and that just is that evolved over 3 years. I didn't start coaching thinking that's what I was going to do. I truly did go in as I'll help you with marketing and sales. But then as I started to personally implement a lot of the things that I learned, that became even more, and I would say that's more of now what I'm becoming known for versus the marketing and sales.
Right. Yeah, it just evolved over time. Yeah. Sometimes you just sort of have to take that initial step too, right? I know that in in my business of event planning and in other endeavors I've been in my life, that sometimes you like want to have it all figured out before you get started.
But you can't.
You can't.
You just got to start it.
You just got to start it. And I think like
out.
that's what maybe someone listening today needs to hear, is that not trying to say throw caution to the wind and just put everything you own on the line to like start a business. But sometimes you just got to take a step in that direction, and that makes a pivot to the next and to the next and to the next,
totally.
right?
And just be open to the lessons as you go. And it's so incredibly important. And I've worked with between my groups and one-on-one, like well over 100 entrepreneurs. Nobody knows what they're doing. Seriously, nobody knows what they're doing.
That should be a t-shirt.
But their willingness to just try, tweak and adjust. Try, tweak and adjust. Try again. That is literally the journey. And it's exciting. It's like a science experiment. We're like trying this formula today and that didn't work, so let's try this, and even when something does start working, it won't work forever.
That's right. You have to be open. Okay. Yeah. I love that. So you go to this Tony Robbins event and then take the coaching and stuff, and that is like such an important thing to be able to, it's almost like self-care. Yeah. Like for life and business, right? Yeah. When you're doing something like that. I have never been to a Tony Robbins event, but I can imagine after reading some of his books that would have been a pretty inspiring and intense a thing to be at.
The weirdest and most intense, traumatic, and transformational.
I'll add that to my list of things I need to do in my life. But
everyone does.
In the meantime, the event that I'm excited to collaborate with you on in the near future is our Shine Summit that is coming up in Saskatoon in October of 2020. And you are one of our speakers and panelists for this event. And I am also so excited. So you get to grace us with all of your infinite wisdom and things about just what you just talked about clarity in life and business and confidence. And so what would you say that an event like the Shine Summit, I know you've already mentioned that it is important to invest in yourself, but why would you say it's important for women in business to invest in personal development and business development and attend something such as our upcoming Shine?
Yeah. The biggest transformations that have ever happened in my life have been in events, like group sort of settings where you realize you're not alone. And I think that's so key. And just seeing different perspectives, seeing what is possible, surrounding yourself with people like on the same journey. Because a lot of times we surround ourselves with people that just come into our life instead of intentionally going out and putting people in our life that are going to get us to that next level. And so I think for me, the reason I would invest in something like Shine and Go is because I understand that if they're going, it's because they have the same value of investing in self, always learning, always growing, and putting the, spending time and money to be there says a lot about somebody. So I want to be in that room with those people, because those are the people that are going to, make my tribe up, and they're the people that are going to get me from A to B. It's like parenting, like you shouldn't do it alone. And we try, and it's daunting. It's daunting. It's like, don't try and build your business alone. You need community, you need collaboration, you need connections with other people, you need network. And I think these events foster all of that, and it's transformational, and I think it's important.
Totally. Well, and I think too, like as you're listening to this, if you're feeling this like stirring and this nudging that you're like, oh my goodness, everything we are talking about is sounding exactly like what I never even knew I always wanted or needed for my life and my business. I just think that the lineup that we have is so unbelievable. Amazing. And it's going to be just in this most beautiful venue, which to me, your atmosphere and the experience of what you're surrounded by and the people and the energy that you're surrounded by just all come together collectively to just create an environment where you're already coming in there open to the idea that there's new ideas and new possibilities, and
the momentum you gain from when you walk away that day is it's literally the thing that can change the whole year for you. So I think it's so important to be doing those types of things often.
Yes.
Every year, if not a few times.
Well, exactly. Because, even in a given day, like minute to minute, you can be like, whoa, I'm on top of the world. And 10 minutes later, you're like, oh, why am I doing this?
Totally. So having some biz besties that you can, or just like other women that you can really reach out to in those times that like the struggle is real is important.
Yeah. Well, and the human connection, right? Like,
Yeah.
I know that we have friends in different facets, whether they're personal relationships or business relationships or whatever the case may be. And even Instagram friends and social media friends
For
who maybe
sure.
you've never even met them in person, but you have collaborations and things that you're working on together. But
Yeah.
this is like a come to life. These
Totally.
people are coming, and these are going to be people from all over the
Yeah.
place, and you never know what could happen.
And just the intimacy of in person. I think no matter how much the world is going online, as humans, we crave in person connection. And I think making sure, because we are, as entrepreneurs, a lot of us, even working in our own home, we lose that like going out and seeing people.
Yes.
So it's even more important to come to days like this, I
Yes,
find.
agree.
So, yeah.
Oh, I love that. It's going to be so much fun.
I'm so excited.
So I always wrap up my conversations on the podcast with these same 5 questions.
Okay.
And I love hearing the different answers from
Okay.
people and getting like just a little like personal snippet inside your
Cool.
life. So what is one thing that you do every morning or as often as you can that kind of sets your tone for the day?
Without a doubt, meditation and visualization. Yes.
Every morning.
Pretty much every morning.
Yeah.
There's some times when it doesn't always work. But before I let the world in, I connect with myself first. And that has developed my intuition, which just guides everything in my business and life. So meditation, it doesn't even need to be long. Sometimes I only have 3 minutes.
Yeah.
But I'll do that. And then I always visualize my goals. And I visualize myself as if I have achieved them already. And I live in that space for a few minutes because our brain all day is living in fear of what could happen, what could go wrong.
Right.
So I like to just intentionally put some time around just imagining and fantasizing about when it all happens and comes to fruition.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, so meditation, visualization.
So then once you're done meditating, what is your coffee order?
Black. It's just black. I
Yeah.
like black coffee. I always have been. Nothing fancy. If you put even a touch of cream in it, I just can't even handle it.
Black. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're an easy gal.
I
so
know.
Please. All right.
Pretty basic.
So you're out and about around town or just at home. What would be something that you always have in your purse that's maybe unique?
Yeah, a red lip.
Oh,
Like always, like a red lipstick. Not a red lip in my purse. A
yes,
red lipstick.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like sets the tone.
Totally. I'm so, and it's like my alter ego. When I put on that red lip, it's like, this side of me comes out
Like
that's confident and
Beyonce's
clear.
Sasha
Yeah,
Fierce.
totally.
I love it.
So I always have it in my purse because it's the thing that just gives me that little boost of confidence.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna steal that
Yeah.
little tip from you.
Yeah.
So besides the meditation, what is the one thing that you do for self-care that is like a protectant to your mental health and your like day-to-day life and just your being?
Yeah. I often, probably every 2 weeks, will just take usually just an afternoon, but just take an afternoon off. Unapologetically, email is full, so much work to do, and I just, nope, the afternoon's for me. My kids are in daycare still, my husband's at work. It's literally for me, and I'll do things like I'll meditate some more, I'll nap, I'll journal, I'll go for a walk, I'll go shopping, but just like me time to do what I want. And that's about every 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's great.
It's important because as a mom and as like an entrepreneur and taking working with a lot of clients one-on-one intensely, like you just need to, for me personally, I need that day to fuel.
Fill up your own bucket.
Yeah. So the busier I get, it's the more important it becomes, and
Which is usually the opposite, right? The
Yeah.
busier you get, the more you're like, okay, I don't have time for that. Gone.
But the creativity and the productivity that comes out of a day off every 2 weeks, not including the weekend, like the weekend as well, but that's kind of family time,
Yes.
right? I mean, nobody actually works 40 hours a week of focused, productive time.
Right.
So I like to take that day off, and it really just like makes me even more laser focused and making sure that I'm focusing on the high value tasks and not all the other things,
Yes.
right? So
Oh,
I would say
that's
that for
good.
sure. The other thing, quickly,
Yeah.
like literally going to events.
Oh.
I think that's like a self-care thing that it just, again, something for me, a weekend of connecting with people like me, like-minded, on the same journey. So I try to do at least 2 of those a year, if not more.
Good for you. Well,
Yeah.
it is. And I mean, obviously, being an event coordinator
Yeah.
as a profession, I mean, I do this for a living, so obviously I'm at lots of events for different reasons. But I agree. When I am going to an event as an attendee or a guest or whatever the case may be, it doesn't matter what it's for.
Yeah.
There is something recharging about it. There's something about being like taken care of and served, and you're at this place. Yeah. Like I don't know. I agree. It changes your mindset a little bit, and you can like just turn off your like, I can't even describe it.
Get out of the day-to-day mundane of,
It's like a new experience. Totally. And that's like why I do what I do. It's like I love creating experiences for people to feel like there's something more than what their maybe either monotonous day-to-day is or things are really bad, things are really good, but you can just go and experience something totally different and almost like triggers something different in your brain. Yeah.
Once a quarter is like perfect for me to like just, again, get that inspiration, that collaboration, the community. And so that's a huge one for me as well.
So lastly, what would be one snippet of advice that you would leave our listeners today, if you could just give them like one thing to take away?
That's a really big question.
I know.
I think for me, the biggest thing that's contribute to like fulfillment, passion, purpose, and ultimately has been just all about breaking the rules and reestablishing them for myself. Because I've just realized it's, the first 18 years of your life, you're given the rules to live by.
Right.
Because your family, like they basically, the rules that they live by, they give them to you, and you don't realize that some may work for you, but some may not, and it's okay to break them. So break the rules.
I like that. Create your own rules. I like that.
It's a lot, it can be harder, said than done, but I'm always trying to say, like, is this what I actually want to do, or is this what I think I should be doing based on a rule that I have, that I made up years ago or adopted from someone else? So break the rules. Yeah.
Hey, I'm going for that. Love it. Well, thanks, my friend. This has been enlightening. I'm going to go break some rules.
Yay!
So where can we find you on social media? Next Level Business Coaching. What are your Instagram?
Instagram is just at Karey Kapell, Karey, and Kapell is Kapell, and then reachyournextlevel.com.
Perfect. I will tag this all in our show so everyone can find you, and thank you.
Thank you.
This show would not be possible without you, my incredible listeners. It would mean the world to me if you would subscribe to Celebrating Simple Life on Apple Podcasts or download and listen on Spotify, Google Podcasts, or wherever you choose to listen. If you really want to make my day, leave a review. These reviews, ratings, and sharing screenshots of podcast episodes that were engaging for you on your Instagram stories and tagging friends that you think should hear the episode too really helps the podcast grow. It makes me so happy that I often select reviews to read on the show, and if yours is chosen, you will receive a special gift from me. Thank you for being a part of my mission to connect stories of business and life. Cheers to Celebrating Simple Life.